Welcome to the show. This is No Interference. We are your hosts, Westside, Sass, and the Bull. It is finally here. Super Bowl is just days away. So, this is what we've been waiting for. So we're going to dive into it. Eagles, Chiefs. I actually can't remember. Eagles are currently favored 1.5 points. Last I checked.
To chill out their little Philly dilly over there. Someone's a little high.
Listen, not all of
you
our
wish
teams.
you could be this excited.
Yeah. Not everyone's team makes it.
Listen, my hands have been sweating all week.
This is just the start.
So have you guys, because it is media week for the Super Bowl, have you guys been paying attention to that much?
A little bit. Well, a little bit here and there.
I'm an Eagles fan, so of course.
I feel like I haven't seen any like breaking stories this year. Like usually there's like my phone's blowing up like, oh, so-and-so said this. Blah, 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 did this. This year I feel like we're not really having that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting Super Bowl because, I mean, they're the two best teams from each conference, and it seems like they actually were the two best teams from each conference. I don't feel like either team is that what's the word?
Front runner?
No, like there's never any I'm just drawing a blank on what I'm trying to think here. There's no
showy.
It's not even showy. They're just
dominant.
I can't think
about that business.
Well, to put it that way, they are like. I feel like the Eagles in particular, they've taken on Jalen Hurts' personality. It's a little bit of, if you think about the Eagles, Jalen Hurts is very stoic. Goal, one goal, game at a time, not too high, not too low. Nick Sirianni is very showboaty for a coach, but I didn't think it would rub people the wrong way as it seems to have. And now that I think about it, people hate him. And I could probably see if he was like a Cowboy coach, I would hate his guts probably. But the Chiefs as well, like Andy Reid has been kind of stoic with like a few little funny comments about food here and there his whole career. Patrick Mahomes is kind of not as stoic as Jalen Hurts, but he's.
I'm right here.
Yeah, there's never really anything big coming from him. Like honestly, the Kelsey brothers are two of the bigger characters probably on each offense, and then of course defenders in the league are always like bigger trash talkers and whatnot.
Andrew had something to say. I think it was yesterday or was today. He somebody brought up Tyreek Hill. He's like, I couldn't be happier for him. He made a bunch of money, and he got a lot of yards.
Who said that?
Andy Reid.
I did.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, he made a lot of money, got a lot of yards. AKA, you're not in the Super Bowl, sir. Shots fired.
While we are talking about players that let their play speak for itself. 49ers have been talking a lot of trash.
A lot of trash for sitting home on the couch like the rest of us. It's pretty funny.
Salty.
Especially the kicker of all people, Robbie Gold. Hey, make Jalen Hurts play quarterback.
And you'll have
a great defensive day.
Did you see the Jimmy Ward comments?
I didn't see Jimmy Ward, but at least he's out there.
He said that he's going to
more than 3 plays a game.
He says he's going to go back to playing safety next year, and if he plays against the Eagles, that Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown better watch out because they're going to get what's coming to them or something.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I love Jimmy Ward. He got bounced back and forth to safety, I think, the first time because of more than his lack of play at corner in the first place and his age. A lot of corners, as they get older, NFL seems to move them to safety because they can't keep up. I'm going to leave it at that.
I mean, A.J. Brown would literally destroy him, like, in a physical, like, confrontation in the football manner. Like, would truck right through him, and Devontae Smith is, he's the slippery devil.
AJ Brown could probably trust stick Jimmy Ward with his helmet off and still retain less injury.
That's a great visual. I mean, the Robbie Gould one was egregious.
Cushing.
Like, that was just a terrible take saying if you force Jalen Hurts to play the quarterback position, first off, wording it that way is disrespectful. And it just has there's no validity to that comment. Like, by the statistics, he was the most accurate quarterback from the pocket this season.
And he missed 2 games.
And he was one of the best deep ball throwers. Like, yeah, he had A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, but I think like almost every single touchdown he threw to A.J. Brown was like in his breadbasket. Like, Devontae Smith had some crazy catches this year, and so did A.J. Brown. But like I said it many times throughout this season, like how accurate Jalen Hurts was. Now, has he been a little bit more inaccurate since the injury? Yeah, but I still have complete faith in him. So the 49ers, little whiner babies.
Clearly.
Like, hopefully you find a quarterback, because if you don't, you're going to suck next year.
Yeah, McCaffrey gets asked about about the Super Bowl. He goes, "I hope both teams lose." Yeah, we all know how that works. That sounds like more something as a division rival would say about two division teams going against each other.
Like, they're just so just let it go.
They got beat down too. It's not like it was a close game. It was a complete beat down. It's not y'all's fault that they had no healthy quarterback available to throw the ball.
Debo said that if Purdy didn't get hurt, the Niners would have won by double digits. And then he was like,
the game was already trending towards the end.
Then he was like, they got lucky because of turnovers. No, you forced the turn. Like, you can't say that's like me saying, "Oh, we got lucky because their receivers caught the touchdown." Like,
yeah, if there were 2 BS calls every quarter, then I'd give you got lucky.
And just because, like, it obviously didn't matter what quarterback was in there because we injured both of them. And then when Chris McCaffrey was in there playing for like 1 snap, we almost sacked him too. Like, that, the pressure was there all game. And I don't want to hear anybody's like, I don't know. The Eagles are favored by 1.5, and it's been that way. It's been a steady 1.5, minus 1.5 for the Eagles, but it just feels like if you look at like the picks online, like any like websites or newspapers that do picks, it's majority are picking the Chiefs. And I don't know. I've been hearing more negative stuff about the Eagles, especially the closer it's been getting to the Super Bowl. Like, their schedule all year was easy. The 2 games in the playoffs were easy. Like, we're not like close. These games aren't close. We're dominating average to below average teams. 49ers, yeah, they have their quarterback issues, but what are you supposed to do when a team loses their first string quarterback and their second string quarterback? Like, play a close game? No, you're supposed to dominate them. Like, you can't blame the Eagles for that.
I mean, we can move to the actual Super Bowl matchup, and I do think the Eagles. I'm picking the Eagles to win, and I know where some of the narrative is coming from. They're going up against Patrick Mahomes, potentially the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. And Andy Reid, who, when you give him extra time to prep for a game, he's
like 23-4 or something crazy like that.
Yeah, he has a really good record when you give him extra time. And I think we all agree that Andy Reid's one of the best coaches ever.
1 and 2 in the Super Bowl, though.
Well, yeah, but still, you gotta give him his due.
I know.
But
I love Big Red.
The reason I like the Eagles is if almost any other quarterback besides Mahomes, it wouldn't even be close. The Eagles roster is far superior. You want to say, if we go position by position, quarterback, sure, I'll take Mahomes, but Hurts was second in MVP voting this year. O-line, Chiefs O-line is not bad. Eagles have the best O-line in the league. Receiving core, it's not even close as the Eagles. Tight end, I'll give you Travis Kelce. Dallas Goedert's no slouch. Running backs, give me the Eagles running backs. D-line, Chris Jones is a monster. The Eagles have like 5 Chris Jones. Linebacking core, I would say it's dead even if you're being honest about it. And then secondary, it's not even close. It's Eagles. So yeah, if you put any other quarterback besides Mahomes, like even a Joe Burrow, I think it's easily Eagles, like way favored. But because it's Mahomes and how great he is, you can't count him out.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes is the best player on the field this weekend, defense and offense for both teams. Travis Kelce is probably, he's probably the second best player on the field. And then you can argue 3. Like Jalen Hurts is an MVP caliber player this year.
Well, let's do this. If you took both teams' rosters, right? And you had to name the top 10 players. In no specific order. Right? We're all in agreement Patrick Mahomes. We're all in agreement Travis Kelce. Who are your other 8?
Like top 10 players from each team?
No, if you had to combine both teams' rosters.
Like which team would have starters?
No, just if you had to draft 10 best players from both these teams in no specific order. Mahomes is obviously on that list. Travis Kelce is obviously on that list.
Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Jason Kelce, Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Hassan Reddick, Chris Jones, Lane Johnson,
Darius Slay.
I got 2 spots left. I'm trying to think if I would take. I like Darius Slay a lot, but even Darius Slay's I think Bradbury's played just as well as him this year. You got Orlando Brown's pretty good.
He's overrated. I'd rather
the
have
center
Jordan
for the
Mailata.
Chiefs, Humphrey.
Creed Humphrey.
Creed Humphrey's really good.
I
would almost pick him. He can play guard. If we're just picking 10 best players from each team, maybe Creed Humphrey.
All right.
And then for my last pick, I'll go Darius Slay because I think he's the best DB on both teams.
And I'm in agreement with that list. I don't know about you, RJ. But we just did top 10 players. 6 are Eagles.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a pretty fair assessment.
I think if you go deeper than that, I think if you go to like top 20, it would be more lopsided Eagles.
Yeah, I think if it was top 20, it would definitely be like 15-5 split.
Yeah. The Chiefs just have a few like really, really good players. But like you mentioned before, they're starting 3 rookies in their backfield on defense, the Chiefs. Maybe 2. Chris Jones is a top 5 defender in the NFL this year, at least on the defensive line. But other than him, I don't think they had a single player have more than like 6 sacks. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah, Carl Loftus has been looking better, but he didn't have like a ton of sacks.
Yeah, one of the main things about the Chiefs has been the play of the offensive line. They were the number 1 ranked pass blocking team this year.
Creed Humphrey is probably the best ranked lineman in the league. PFF.
Yeah, I think him and he's. I don't know who's number 1 in rankings, but him and Kelce are probably the 2 best centers in the league.
It goes Humphrey then Kelce by like decimals.
Kelce's better.
One's younger. Give him the benefit of the.
There ain't no benefit and there ain't no doubt. Jason Kelce's better. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Chiefs O-line.
Oh yeah. People talk about. I've been hearing stuff about the Eagles D line and how good they've been, but are their numbers a little bolstered because of the quarterbacks they've played this year haven't been elite? They've been playing with leads, all this nonsense. But if you look at the Kansas City schedule, they haven't played like any crazy. They haven't played the Eagles. They haven't played.
The
I mean, they played the
Eagles,
Cowboys. They didn't play these top pass rush. They didn't play the Ravens.
the Eagles had, I think, they were 5th all time in most wins against teams above 500.
That stat I think is a little skewed because they played the Cowboys twice. They played the Giants 3 times.
I don't think it counts playoffs.
And it did.
Oh.
And then they played the Washington twice, which Washington had a winning record.
I mean,
and that's almost all
you
their
are
games.
you are what your record is. Like, it's the NFL. You don't.
Oh no.
You don't.
I think the record argument is just a bad. When you can make there's 2 instances of the record argument. There's the Minnesota Vikings and then the Eagles. The Eagles dominate teams in the first half all year. They dominated teams so bad that they pretty much played conservative in the second half, like 75% of the year, running the ball constantly and playing shell coverage. Then the Minnesota Vikings are a team who, for 2 straight years, have played in like nonstop 1-score games. So 1 year they didn't make the playoffs. 1 year they didn't have the bye, but in the old way, they were whatever.
3.
They were 3, but they still were 12. They had 12 wins, and then they were 1 and done in the playoffs. So the whole schedule thing, unless it's an instance like that, like I don't think like you can be like their record was easy. Like you're supposed to beat who you're supposed to beat, and the Eagles did it impressively all season. So I don't know. Been hearing that all week, like trying to discredit the team that lost 1 game with their starting quarterback. And even in that game against Washington had like the best way to beat the Eagles, yet it took like multiple turnovers and a great game plan just to hold the Eagles off from like scoring late and tying the game. So that's my 2 cents about that question. I think I went off the rails a little bit, but I've been trying to find the stats for some of the things I said, but I can't. So I'm pretty sure I'm accurate on most of that.
Well, we can talk about this game a little more before we go into other topics, but my thing is... Oh.
Nope, go ahead, because let me gather this real quick.
I mean, my thing is, I think this is going to be... I think we're in line for a really good Super Bowl, similar to what we saw last year. You have the number 1 pass offense versus the number 1 pass defense. You have both teams feature great O-lines, but you have a great O-line with the Chiefs versus a great D-line with the Eagles. I'm interested to see some of these game plans, but the Eagles D-line is just ridiculous, and it's across the board, and they're 5-6 players deep, and Hassan Reddick the last 6 weeks has been basically unblockable. And then when you're able to, because their secondary is so good, and it is, they can go five-man front, and then it's 1-on-1 across the board, and they don't need Fletcher Cox to beat a double team. They don't need Sweat to run a little stunt or something. They go 5 across, and then it just takes one guy to whiff, and then it's a free shot, which is what happened to Purdy, which is what's happened throughout the year. They have all these guys where you might have, like the Chiefs, Creed Humphrey is really good. I like Trey Smith. Orlando Brown's okay. But when they're sending 5 at you, it doesn't matter if you have 3 very good offensive linemen. It's who's your weakest link. And they're going to isolate Hassan Reddick on whoever their weakest link is all game.
Yeah.
And
Huh?
on the flip side, the Chiefs are going to. Travis Kelce has been nearly unguardable all year, so you're going to have to see how the Eagles plan to take him away, because I think that's the whole thing. If you take him away, if you look at teams that have been good against the Chiefs, they take away Kelce. If you take Kelce away, you're good. If you can't take Kelce away, you're in for a long day.
That's almost impossible.
I mean, teams have done it. You got to bracket him, double coverage him. The Titans would basically man him every play, with even on zone calls. They'd have someone manned up on him, have a defensive end drop just so that Mahomes has to look away from him for 2 seconds. You got to get creative.
Yeah. So the Chiefs, not slandering the Chiefs, just trying to even the playing field here for what I've heard about the Eagles this week. The Chiefs have played 2 teams in the top 10 sacks this year. Only 2 teams that were top 10 in sacks. Can you guys throw out who they would be? A guess, maybe?
They play Dallas?
Nope. Well, I won't make you guys guess. Here are the top 10 teams in sacks.
Niners?
I'll tell you the top 10 teams. Eagles, Chiefs, Patriots, Cowboys, Saints, Ravens, Jets, Seahawks, Bucks, and then Colts and 49ers are tied for 10.
So they played the Bucks?
They played the Bucks, the Colts, Seahawks, and 49ers.
Colts.
They lost to the Colts. It was 2 of Patrick Mahomes' worst games of the year were against the Colts and the Seahawks. He had below 60% completion percentage. He still played fairly well against the Seahawks. He had 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, but against the Colts, he had 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Both games under 300 yards passing and under 60% completion percentage. That only happened 3 times this year. Twice those games. Then once was against Cincinnati. Against Tampa, he had a good game, but Tampa Bay's, their defense wasn't that great. And then against San Francisco, he also had a good game. But still, 2 out of the 4 games, 2 weren't that great. And that was against the Seahawks defense wasn't that great. So there's that little stat there. And the Eagles were by far the best sack team in the league. They had 70 sacks. The Chiefs were second with 55. And 54, 48.
Yeah, did you see? I'm sure I've seen this stat on like nearly every show, and I'm probably going to butcher it. If you look by pressure rate, I think is the stat. Mm-hmm. Eagles were number 1. The Cowboys are number 2. The gap between the Eagles number 1 and the Cowboys number 2 was the same gap from the Cowboys number 2 to like the number 25 rated team and pressure rate. That's how far and away the Eagles were.
Yeah, I think you can find the instances like that for both teams, the Chiefs and the Eagles, because I think that was similar to what the Chiefs' pass blocking success rate was. I think it was like number 1, and then the difference between them and number 1 and 2 was like big compared to 2 and like 15 or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're just. I think it's gonna be a really good game. You mentioned it a few times, Taylor. The pros advantages they each might have, or what you need to focus on against the Chiefs with Travis Kelce. I think it's going to be really hard if the Eagles can slow down Travis Kelce and pressure Mahomes consistently. I'm leaning towards it probably being like borderline blowout. Chiefs have to come back, which is going to be very hard to do. I'm more leaning towards the game being a little. I think the over-under for this game, I don't know if you have it off the top or in front of you. I think it's like 50.5.
It is 50.5.
I have a feeling it's going to be below that, like mid 40s, like 24, 21.
So this is my
I think the Eagles are going to be able to. I think the Eagles are. I think the Chiefs are going to try to establish the run, but I just think the Eagles are going to be able to do that better. Go ahead, say your thought.
I was just saying, before I even check the over-under, my pick was going to be 27-24 Eagles.
Your official pick.
Yeah, my official pick. 27-24, right on the line. So I guess technically I am taking the over. I think the Eagles will be able to, get theirs. Chiefs will be. It's hard to take the Chiefs completely out of a game just because of the talent of Patrick Mahomes, but it's just going to be uphill battle, and I think the Eagles will, be able to grind it out, get that 3-point lead, and hold on to it.
Yeah. I'll just give you my official pick is 24-21. I'm going to stick with that Eagles. Maybe 27-24. I think it'll be in the 20s in the field goal game. I just think my thought process is the Eagles are going to be able to do what they do. I know Spagnuolo likes to do blitzes and stuff like that, even though they're a little down, I think, compared to previous years. But they still like to show they're going to blitz at least, and probably show some different looks with Chris Jones with the Eagles O-line. I think the Eagles are going to try to... Here's the thing. I keep changing my thoughts as I'm talking myself through it. The Eagles are seen as a team that likes to run the ball. They don't really start games trying to establish the run. They try to establish the pass first and blow teams out of the water. Then they establish the run in the second half. They've done it all year. Now, they've also been really good at mid-game adjustments where sometimes you will be texting about it, like it'll annoy us where they'll get away from the pass earlier in the game. But eventually they're like, okay, we need, our bread and butter is the O-line and being able to run the ball with Hurts and the running backs. So I think that's a good way to win this game. If the Eagles are able to throw the ball, which I think in most games they have been this year, like Jalen Hurts, the games where Jalen Hurts throws like 3+ touchdowns, I'm pretty sure they're pretty much blowouts. So I feel like that would be the case this game too. And I know A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are really good. Dallas Goedert's really good. The Chiefs give up, I think, the most touchdowns through the air this year, at least if not high. I just think I give credit to Andy Reid and Spagnuolo to be prepared for that. So Hurts had 3 touchdowns against Washington week 3. We won 24-8. Against Pittsburgh, he had 4 touchdowns, won 35-13. Against Tennessee, he had 3 touchdowns. We won 35-10. Now, total touchdowns, this is just passing touchdowns. So any game he has over 3 touchdowns, we blow the other team out. So that's my thought process. If it's like that, it's going to be like that.
All right. RJ, can we get a prediction from you?
Yeah, I'm going to say 28-20 Eagles.
Oh.
I honestly think it's going to be 10 points, but you know how it goes. Somebody's going to make an extra point. Somebody's going to this, that, yeah. I think the Eagles and the Chiefs are going to go at it first 3 quarters. And I think at least a little before halfway through the fourth quarter, the Eagles are going to come out on top, and the Chiefs are just going to come up short.
Gotcha.
But it seems like we're all
I think it's
similar.
going to be one of the best Super Bowls we had in a while when it comes to entertainment.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Well, let's get moving on to some of these prop bets. We can just discuss this a little. We're not a betting show, but Super Bowl is everyone's a better on Super Bowl Sunday.
Scared money don't make no money.
So let's look at some player props. Let's see. What are some good ones? Passing touchdowns. Looks like some sites... It's got Mahomes. We don't care about passing touchdowns. They're both at 1.5. Let's go to rush yards. That's always fun. Miles Sanders, he looks like, depending on the site, he's sitting at about 60 rush yards over under. About minus 120 odds. I think that's 60 yards for Miles Sanders. I think that's in a close-ish game.
Yeah. I mean, he's been pretty hot as of recent.
I would take the under.
You take the under?
Just
because you think
game plan. What's the game?
I think so.
Well, I think Kenny Gainwell has kind of showed some jitzpah the last month. He's ran well in both playoff games.
Well, it's funny you say that because I was going to bring it up. Gainwell is over under, depending on the site, about 20 yards.
I would say over 20 for Gainwell. I would also say over 40. What's the over under for Hurts?
49.50.
49. That's.
I wouldn't touch that for Hurts.
I would say under 49 for Hurts. If it was over 40, I think he could get in the 40 range. That's another thing. I think the Chiefs will have a decent game plan. It's impossible to. It's pretty much impossible to stop the offense with Hurts if he's playing well.
I really like Gainwell over 19.5.
Yeah, I would take Gainwell over 19.5, and that's why I would take Sanders under 70.
60.
I think I would take him under 60. I could see him getting over it, but I think I would take that. And I think the reason being is Gainwell, and I think the Eagles are going to try to pass the ball a little bit in this game.
Last one for rushing yards, Isaiah Pacheco. His is a little bit wider split depending on the website. I see some are 46 and some are 50.
Under and a touchdown.
I wouldn't.
People have been talking about the Eagles' rush defense being vulnerable. I think that's a little. I've watched every single Eagles game. I know these analysts haven't. I'll give credit to. There are some that probably have watched, like Baldinger. Has probably watched every single snap of the Eagles, but I don't think it's as big of a deal, and I don't think the Chiefs are going to want a game plan for. Okay, Pacheco could bust off like a 60-yard run. I just don't see that happening. And I don't think they're going to want to get into that kind of running slugfest with the Eagles.
Here's another one I think is interesting. Rushing attempts, Jalen Hurts over under 10.5. I know he usually sits right around 12.
I was going to say I could see him. He has a very common stat line for him is 10 rushes for like 45 yards.
And a QB sneak is a rush. So if he does 3 of those a game.
Yeah, I would say I would take the over on that.
If you can get it at 10.5, I would be fine with get him like 11.
What are the odds on that?
On Caesars it's minus 101, and on DraftKings it's minus 110.
It's kind of low, but if I was a betting man, I'd take it. I am a betting man, just not this game.
So we're looking at the receiving
on the Eagles.
Receiving odds. Travis Kelce over under receiving yards. About looking at averaging out the different sites, 79 receiving yards over under.
Under.
I would go over
75.
Just because if he gets, I think if he's like under 70 yards, I just don't see the Chiefs. I
don't think this game's going to be like the Eagles Patriots Super Bowl, where it's 1,000 yards of offense. I could see Travis Kelce having 2 touchdowns. I don't think he's gonna. I like the way the Eagles play defense, especially as of late in the second half of the season. And they did pretty well against tight ends this year. I know people say we have trouble in the middle field. Maddox is good. Sauce Gardner is good. God, Sauce Gardner's not on our team. I wish he was. CJ Gardner Johnson. That Gardner name just sticks with me.
If y'all have the defensive rookie of the year in your team right now.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Jesus.
I would take the under on that. I could see him getting real close, and I could see him getting over it, but I would take the under. What's the odds on the under?
For who again? Kelsey? Minus 115.
I would take that.
Real quick, if you're looking at defensive odds, Hassan Reddick to get 2+ sacks is plus 490.
I would take that.
I like that one.
Plus 490
for 2+ sacks.
Give me that for show. He's been on a tear lately, and the Eagles have so many pass rushers. They can, if they want to double team him, go ahead. He beats double teams all year. His stats back that up, and then we have other pass rushers. So good luck.
And then let's just the interesting ones. Opening kickoff to be a touchback. It's looking like if you say no, it looks like if you want to make a little money, the odds are about plus 125 to 130 if you think there'll be a return on the first kickoff. Just a return, not even a return touchdown.
Yeah, I would take that.
I think it would be a
touchdown. Most likely, but
Super Bowl MVP.
The Chiefs are kicking.
It's pretty close. It looks like Hurts and Mahomes are sitting between 125 and plus 125 plus 135 for Super Bowl MVP odds. So
well, depends on who wins.
Yeah,
it depends on who wins. If the Eagles win, and I bet you the odds are juicy, give me AJ Brown.
I don't have the odds for AJ Brown, but actually I can get
usually because it goes to the quarterback or whoever defender made a play during the game.
Let me find AJ Brown is plus 2,200.
Oh yeah, give me that for sure. Jalen Hurts could have 2 touchdowns, and they both be to him. And see, the thing is, Jalen Hurts has 2 touchdowns passing and a rushing touchdown. He'll probably get it.
The hell is that?
That's awkward.
Twitter.
Yeah, sure.
I don't really pull it up.
Getting ready for.
That's where I get most of mine.
After the show.
It's like this girl, like, so you know Joey Swoll.
You don't have to explain yourself. AJ Brown plus 2,200. Give me that all day.
All right, some more interesting odds. I never get into this one, but it's hilarious. Anthem length. You can bet on that. Looking like
anthem length,
124, 126 seconds, depending on where you're betting with.
I would have to go look into
historical data.
Yeah.
Then there's the coin toss. I mean, that's
too long.
The coin toss is just a straight up bet. Like it's 50-50. So you wanna throw money on that for a 50-50 chance to double your money?
Yeah, it's tough.
It's something to do if you're not really going to get into some of these deep bets. Halftime show. Over under 8.5 songs for the halftime show.
Who's the halftime performer?
Rihanna.
Under.
What do you think, RJ?
She's 8.5 shows. She's not gonna have the energy.
I mean, 8.5 songs.
She only has like 16 minutes. You could fit.
Most of the time they split.
Say over.
If you remix songs. If you remix it and combine 2 or 3 songs, what does that count as?
That's what I'm saying. Like because they don't play full songs.
I think it goes by. I think it goes by the name of the song.
Yeah,
well, some songs.
I'm gonna say over 8.
Who was it last year? Was Kendrick Lamar last year or 2 years ago?
Last year was Eminem and 50 Cent and Snoop Dogg. And Dr.
Right.
Dre.
Right. Well, Kendrick, whenever he was, his songs are like 4.5 minutes. So you can't do that.
All right. Anyone got any tips on the color of the Gatorade?
Any tips?
Any tips?
Any tips?
Any tips?
So right now, yellow green is a favorite at plus 165. If you bet there is no Gatorade bath, then it's plus 1200. And then purple is sitting at plus 750.
What's the Gatorade bath?
What do you mean?
What's the odds for it? Or can you only do the color?
Well, you pick the odds that. Well, you could do none.
The Eagles had a Gatorade bath for the NFC Championship, so they're going to do one for the Super Bowl.
So, yeah, you can just put the odds on the color.
Orange.
Orange is going to get you plus 300.
I like it. Give me that.
There was, I think it was a couple years ago, some guy, like I can't remember the whole story. He, befriended the equipment team for one of the Super Bowl teams, and they told him what Gatorade they were, because they usually for football teams they use the powder, they make the Gatorade in the tubs, and they told them what Gatorade they were going to use.
Bastards.
Or was it last year's Super Bowl or 2 years where the guy went streaking and he placed a bet that somebody would go streaker?
That's genius.
But then he admitted to it, so avoided the bet.
Well, he's an idiot, but that's genius. That shouldn't void the bet. There should not. Why would that void the bet? That's just because what are the odds? The odds are 100% because I'm going to do it.
Well, I'm pretty sure the bet got voided. So
that's stupid. I would go to court.
Well, that's like if AJ Brown bet on himself to drop a ball in a game, and then he purposely dropped the ball.
If you bet, I think you should be allowed to bet on yourself as much as you want, as long as you're betting on yourself winning.
That's fair. That's what playing through a franchise tag is.
Yeah, I would be. If I was a head coach, I'd be like what was that one coach's name? Kirby Smart.
Oh yeah,
for Georgia, trying to avoid the Gatorade bath. That would be me. I'd be like, do not do that. I'm not trying to be sticky for my Super Bowl celebration.
I hate that. I don't even
you idiots.
I don't even like wearing a sweaty shirt. So I definitely wouldn't want a Gatorade soaked shirt. That would be my nightmare.
A sweaty shirt that came out like Christopher Walken. A sweaty shirt. Sweaty shirt can get a little crusty maybe.
All right. Well,
don't try to take off what I was trying to say. All right, you can go on. I was just rambling.
Oh, jeez.
The Rocky curse.
Oh, hey, RJ.
Is it real?
The Rocky curse?
Yeah.
I mean, this year.
Because the Chiefs did it.
Multiple people did it. Also, some people were saying it may have been New Heights because they talked about it, and Travis Kelce famously said, "Don't do it." But some people were like, "It's probably an Eagles fan doing it." I wouldn't put it past them.
That's pretty funny.
It's like a double jinx on yourself, though.
That's what I was saying. I saw a picture of a Chiefs fan putting a flag on the Chief, and he had a red hat on with a vest. He looked like a Chiefs fan. I don't see an Eagles fan looking like that. But I was
trying to say that Chiefs fans don't have any style.
No, I mean,
did you guys see the Chiefs bar in Philly?
Some barbecue in Kansas City with his vest and plaid shirt and beanie hat.
Did y'all see that super huge Chiefs bar? Not huge, but
Yeah.
Middle of Philly.
The one you tagged us in?
Is that? Yeah, I didn't know about that. They've been filming this place since 2003.
I'm a 76ers fan. I'm a Flyers fan.
He has 76ers hat. He turned to a Chiefs hat.
When it comes to football, we're Kansas City Chiefs fans,
and they all sound like
my daddy
Jones and shit.
My daddy placed a bet on the Chiefs to win in 1970, and they did, and he bought me a bike, so I'm a Chiefs fan. One of the worst stories I've ever heard becoming a football fan.
Jesus. And I can't believe Philadelphians just let them sit around there without any repercussions.
I mean,
there's a huge Packers bar in Baltimore.
There's an Eagles bar in Baltimore too. It might not be huge, but I'm pretty sure you can go to any city and be like, well, that's not supposed to be here.
There's a Washington bar down in Ocean City that I like to go to because you don't find it too often in Maryland.
Well, before we move on, I believe in the Rocky curse. I actually just started rewatching the entire Rocky series. I'm on Rocky 4.
God.
It's been a
doozy. Dedication.
It's an emotional roller coaster.
Rocky 2 is, I think Rocky 2 is the best Rocky.
Throw the flag. Throw in the towel or whatever it says.
Yeah. Let's just get more to a more fun, laid back conversation regarding Super Bowl because it is everyone's football fan on Super Bowl Sunday. Halftime show. Do you guys care about it or not?
Yeah.
Not when the Eagles are playing.
I always look more towards the commercials than the halftime show.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. If I'm interested in the performer, like last year, but I was kind of let down. Typically, though, for me, the Super Bowl halftime show is time for me to go to the bathroom and get my second or third plate of food.
Re up on food. I'm usually, even if it's not my team, still there to watch football.
Yeah.
And then it comes commercials.
Yeah. I've never... I don't think there's been a Super Bowl halftime show where I'm like, oh my God, it's the best show I've ever seen.
Oh, no, just when I saw Janet Jackson's titty for the first time. My first live national television titty. You gotta remember that. I think
that was everyone's first one.
Nah, I'm sure there's been titties exposed before.
I don't know about that. That was stupid, staged.
Loved every second of it.
Speak for yourself.
I was 12.
I'm 12. Yeah, I don't know. The Eagles are in it, so I'm definitely like, let's get it over with.
The actual time in between the 4 quarters that matter.
Yeah. All right, so we agree. No one cares about the halftime show. All right, favorite Super Bowl food.
It has to be a nice, good old buffalo chicken dip, quality. Nice shredded chicken.
I've never been a big buff chicken dip person.
I love buffalo chicken dip. Buffalo chicken dip don't love me, nor does most Super Bowl food.
A little cheesy goodness. Dairy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be careful with this Super Bowl because I can't be running to the old turlet in the middle of the Eagles game.
Don't eat all the pigs in the blanket.
Where's Trevor? They're up by 40.
Literally, if you can't eat all the pigs in the blanket just because you can't eat dairy.
Oh, I'll eat pigs in a blanket.
Well, now I gotta make a double batch. God damn it!
Listen, nobody out here needs to know I can't eat dairy.
Oh well, the world knows.
You're putting my business out there like that. People are gonna be, if we ever become a thing, people are gonna.
They're
gonna send me.
He's
lactose intolerant.
Nah, bro, let's start paying for your lactate pills.
I don't take no lactate pills. I deal with the pain. Just kidding.
You're crazy.
If Trevor ever gets famous, he pulls up to an event and on like a bus, everyone's throwing jugs of milk at the bus.
He's associating this disorder like it's worse than diabetes. It's okay. I guarantee I'll develop in my mid-30s if I haven't already and ignored it because I love cheese so much.
Fascinating thing about cheese, we recently found out. We recently found out that there's a lot of cheese out there that's pretty much lactose free. I've been duped my whole life.
Ain't no quality cheese. It can't be.
Listen, no, you're wrong, Colonel Sanders.
Brie's okay.
Listen.
All right, Linda, I'm listening.
Listen. All right, here we go.
This is quality information.
This is realsimple.com, so it might be real false.
Simple, Trevor.
Brie,
yeah.
Cheddar.
Cheddar has no lactose.
It does, but such small traces, mild and sharp varieties. Catch this one out for size. Provolone. Gouda. Gouda was like one of my worst enemies.
You know what?
I was like, there's no way.
I don't believe provolone because I've seen a meatball sub really mess you up.
Well, here,
It's
there's
the
the
Parmesan
trick.
that was on top.
Blue cheese.
Ugh. See, I knew blue cheese is nasty ass.
Oh,
would be
what
on
did
there.
you just say, RJ? Parmesan.
So
And
the
guess what
Italians got it
Swiss.
right.
If any
Oh, the
cheese
Swiss.
sounds, if any cheese sounds lactose, like heavy lactose, it's Swiss.
It
Let me
really
get some of
does.
that Swiss cheese.
So wait, so you
So
tell
what
me
cheese?
as
American
long as
cheese
as
probably
long
has
as
all
you
lactose.
avoid Kraft singles, you're good.
Yeah, literally.
Well,
I feel like
listen.
American cheese is like just cardboard. They paint it like it's so fake.
Well, we're not a nutritional show here, but I've been doing the research.
Goes into football.
cheese can get greasy and it's fatty, which can lead to the runs if you're a certain person like me. So
It's the grease more than anything. Then is what it is.
yeah, I mean, a nice big,
let's-
a nice piece of pizza. You're like, oh, the cheese. He's got the runs after he eats pizza. It's got to be lactose intolerance, which
Nope,
I think it
it's
is. But there's
mostly
grease.
grease.
There's a lot of bread. Those empty carbs. Got to run to the toilet afterwards. Maybe it caused a little bit of IBS. Who
I knew I
knows?
needed to change my diet.
Let's get this car back onto the road.
You guys
What's
come
your
over.
favorite halftime food?
You guys come over to the house, and it's just like my fridge is just blocks of Gouda.
Provolone.
What's
Yeah.
done?
He comes around
Containers
the
and
corner
containers
and
of
just-
shredded
he just-
Parmesan.
He's just holding the blocks of cheese, just biting right into it. What's up, guys?
Oh,
Just
what's
sprinkling.
that movie? What's that old movie? Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh,
Snow,
The
Snow Dogs?
Snow
Yeah.
Dogs.
He's eating the block
Snow
of
Dogs.
blue cheese because he loves blue cheese or whatever.
Oh, I
Remember that
forgot
part?
about that. If I watch
Sorry.
it nowadays, I'll puke.
He's like, nobody loves blue
Ugh.
cheese more than me, so it's going right into the block.
Oh yeah. Oh, how y'all eat that blue cheese stuff?
I love blue cheese.
Extra mold. Not back to
That's crazy.
back to sass with the
Moldy.
new.
That's crazy. Blue cheese is moldy.
It's
Sick
extra.
world,
Saw,
living
I,
with
I
sick
saw the
people.
process of what they do on a Facebook video, and it was just like it's even.
Well-
It's worse than feta when it's coming out the
I'll
container.
I'll answer the question. My favorite my favorite Super Bowl
I'll
food
answer.
is queso.
Ah,
Good old queso.
but nobody knows the queso like we know the queso.
Well,
Yeah, I
you're
was gonna
missing out.
say
It's Ma's queso. It's not just queso.
Yeah, Ma's queso.
It's
is
not even
probably-
Moss queso. She admitted that she stole the recipe.
But
she made
she
it.
still,
It
she
was
made her
it
own.
was a staple in the house that she made, so it's Ma's queso.
Do you also
Yeah.
think she followed it like recipe like to the T?
Like-
she
like
add
I
her
make-
own, add her own, sauce to it.
I make really good sausage gravy. It's the most basic recipe I found online, but it's my sausage gravy.
It's because nobody does it. It's not like computers over here measuring. We got to get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, eye it out.
Cooking isn't simply
Following orders.
numbers.
Okay,
It's
born
art.
here.
You have to say it's either
One
born
cannot
here,
simply cook sausage gravy.
but it also kind of sounded like an Old Spice commercial because it was official.
Oh yeah. Anyways, I would say the queso with the spicy sausage in it. That's probably a no-fly zone
Meatball?
for me. Meatballs. Now we're talking pure
kind of meatballs?
protein, pure protein and sauce. I can eat meatballs, bowls of meatballs for days. Give me some Swedish meatballs for Super Bowl.
Sliced
I'll say-
bread.
Yeah,
a
no
little
bread.
bread
Just give me
pocket.
give me a little toothpick, a bowl of Swedish meatballs. I can do that all day, every day.
Fair enough.
And it's a
Erm,
crock pot. The crock pot foods are the way to go for Super Bowl food. They stay warm the whole 3.5 hours, 4 hours. You go, you get some whenever you're ready. Maybe the bottom gets a little burnt, but you just give it a little stir, make sure it stays nice and fresh.
Yeah, I was talking to people at work today about like what foods they're having for their Super Bowl parties, and I was just like, "It's what it's all about."
You got lots of food this Sunday.
Anything else you guys want to discuss?
There was something I was thinking about for the Super Bowl.
So, yearly awards, but yeah. Shout out to the Jets for having the two
Shout out.
offensive
No,
rookie
no, no,
and
no,
a
no,
defensive
no.
rookie just to do nothing with them.
Shout out, Geno Smith, comeback player.
Comeback
of the
player.
year.
Oh my god!
Comeback player.
We knew it. As soon as I saw that shit, I was like, "Ooh, what classifies
I pulled
comeback
out.
player?"
No, I pulled out the definition for that.
And you were wrong, Colonel.
No, he would be He wouldn't even win most improved because that was my argument. Jalen Hurts would have won that.
What's not most improved is come back.
But he didn't come back from nothing.
No. Remember the definition? It said come back, and it could be all of a sudden a change in like career success.
So how did Dak get the Player of the Year award or whatever the frick it was?
It's for like his charities and whatnot.
Was the Walter Payton? Oh, it was
Yeah.
Walter Payton. I didn't know that. A bunch of these guys donate them monies and do stuff with the kids.
I'm gonna say 2. Can we do like a winner and loser for the week?
Just in general?
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know why I just thought about this, but I was thinking about a couple of people I want to call out. My loser for the week is, I don't even know if it's this week, but I'm pretty sure it was this week, is Jerry Jones. He said something along the lines of the Eagles are pretty much selling out for a Super Bowl, and the Cowboys are in it for the long game. And then Jimmy Johnson apparently had a phone call with Jeffrey Lurie, the Eagles owner, pretty much trash talking Jerry Jones that he's an idiot. So that's my loser of the week. Terrible take, and your most famous head coach of all time, arguably, trash talking you with the Eagles owner. Yeah, that's my loser.
Who's your winner?
Super Bowl week. My winner. I didn't think about this one.
He just created a segment just to trash talk Jerry Jones.
I did, because I was thinking about that in the 49ers a lot. Not a lot. Not as much as they're thinking about the Eagles. My winner of the week is the Pro Bowl Skills Challenge, or the Pro Bowl. I think the Pro Bowl did pretty well.
All right. I got that. I get your vibe. My loser of the week is the actual Pro Bowl flag football game.
What? Oh, there was 2.
You didn't
Regardless, the flag football, it's still a joke half the time. Like like Derrick Henry got like a handoff and just kind of walked into the end zone from like 15 yards out. Rest of the Pro Bowl, I really enjoyed it, actually, surprisingly. Excuse me. But the actual flag football game, I thought it was a waste of time.
I thought, I really, it was funny because we were watching it here a little bit, and it showed Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, and I was like, Peyton Manning's going to argue about something this game and get really heated. Then it happened at the end of the game due to refs, which was hilarious. That's a good loser right there. That refs had caused issues with the flag football Pro Bowl game.
My winner of the week is, and it's just a random one.
Time out. Did I want to mention this before I forget. Did Myles Garrett suffer a dislocated toe?
He did. You didn't hear? Oh yeah,
in the Pro Bowl.
He did.
From the skills competition.
Yeah, he definitely did that.
Yeah, when Panthers defensive end
Brian Burns
destroyed him, and I think Myles Garrett dislocated his toe. You don't want no injuries, but you dislocate your toe in a flag football skills challenge.
But my winner of the week is our boy Kirk Cousins singing at the awards ceremony. His little "Since You've Been Gone, Tom Brady."
Okay, I didn't know that's what he's saying. I'll be honest. My reaction was only because I saw that he was singing at the Emmys. Was it the Emmys?
No, the NFL award. Honors.
The NFL awards. Yeah. My reaction was that was cringeworthy, but if he's singing that,
listen to Kirk Cousins sing, and then listen to George Kittle sing.
Did he sing?
Yeah, they both did. George Kittle sounded exactly how you thought it would. Kirk Cousins was actually, I was like, oh, that's not bad.
I need to watch it. I won't make a determined reaction like that ever again.
All right, RJ, you got winner or loser of the week?
Yeah, loser goes to Robbie Gold for his horrible comments on Jalen Hurts. Winner, Philadelphia School District, giving their students a 2-hour delay for Monday in case there's a victory. And if not, there's a lot. Either way, we know how them streets are going to be on Monday.
I'll up your Philly winner to Tennessee winner. Tennessee, the state, is either in the process or just maybe didn't. I don't know what happened with it. I'd have to look it up. Was trying to make Super Bowl Monday a holiday.
As it should be.
As it
an
should be.
official holiday.
Yes.
As it should be.
Agreed.
Alrighty. Anything else we are going to add? All right.
Ghost Rider.
That does it for our Super Bowl podcast. What? Oh, I was like, what the hell is he pointing to?
Where he's
Eagles
pointing.
in the background. That does it for the Super Bowl podcast. This is No Interference. We are your host, Westside, Big Sass, and the Bull. As usual, thank you for giving us a view, listen, whether you're watching on YouTube or Spotify. Give us a follow on social media at The NI Show on Instagram and Twitter. If you liked what you heard, give us a like, share, subscribe, drop a comment. We would love to take time to chit chat, but as usual, thank you. We really appreciate it, and we are signing off. Adios.
See you later.
Peace.